Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of just I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we put an end to the Dragon Song War, where we also got the style, I forgot to show it off. And since we have a beautiful little break in the story, and I think I have everything unlocked that I need to have unlocked to be able to finish these things, we're gonna work on one relic weapon from Heavensward. Alright. Good morning to you, Lynn. Something on your mind? I've been called back to Revenant's Toll to take care of a new shipment of wares. But if you've matter of monies that require my attention, hold that thought. It seems I have visitors. Some more welcome than others. Pardon the intrusion, Mrs. Rowena. I realized I was here only a few days ago, but I really must speak with you about... Good, you're still here. We need to talk about that promissory note. Now I know what you're thinking. That stinking sack of Gubu shite ain't got that money. Well, you're wrong. I saved it up, every last kill. The thing is, my mates took me out for a drink to celebrate and... Excuse me, sir, but when people are talking, it is generally considered rude to interrupt. I know not what manner of business you have at Rowena, but I'm quite sure it can wait. As I was saying, Mrs. Rowena, have you perchance been able to arrange a meeting with your associates? There's much I would ask them about their work on arcane sentries. Hold on a bleeding minute. You're telling me to wait? Didn't no one ever teach you to shut your gob when grown-ups are talking? My life and more importantly, my note at the tavern's at stake here. Now be a good lad and bugger off until Uncle Gerald. That is say. I just remembered the problem with this guy. Gerald or Gerald? I'm just gonna say Gerald. Gerald, mind your own advice for once and keep quiet. I'll deal with you soon enough. Regarding your question, Ardashir, the answer's no. The client I had in mind's a bit of a recluse, and stubborn as hell in her old age. She wouldn't hear of any meeting, and I ain't got the time to press her on it at the moment. Too much to do by half. Sounds like you've got enough on your plate without having to worry yourself over an old maid's owens. I tell you, let's forget about it for... I know not what hole you have drunken yourself into, sir, and I quite frankly do not care. I have important business to discuss with Mr. Rowena, and I demand you leave us this instant. Bah, the youth of today, jumped up, self-serving little shites, a lot of you. Fine, tell us then, your highness, what's this business of yours that's more important than a man's life, eh? Well, out with it. Very well, if only to explain myself to Rowena. Together with my master, I have been conducting research into the manipulation of spiritual and etheric energies in what you call the Near East. Our work has shown that the soul is in fact an agglomeration of a specific type of force. This force defines the quality of man, or quiddity, I guess, of man and makes us who we are. While the soul is indeed inimitable, we believe it possible to create a quasi-soul. Thus we turn our attention to Anima, the self-same force which allows individuals to traverse the lifestream via etherites. By infusing a soul stone with the requisite quantities of ether, this force may be harnessed. Yet after years of research and experimentation, we have naught to show for it but inert husks of stone. We repeated the process again and again, adjusting every element, but the result was always the same. At length, my master declared the project a failure, and turned his thoughts to other matters. But I could not give up, not after witnessing the beauty of Anima, not after coming so close, and that is why I have journeyed hither to Eorzea. I am certain that with the Shardian's knowledge of arcane sentries, I can complete my project. I am also certain that the resultant souls will be worth more to mankind than the ale-soaked dish cloud that passes for yours. Finished, have you? Well then, allow me to retort. Seems to me you're a cockert little brat as speaks a lot without saying aught. You talk like a man of learning when 'tis plain you're a boy which never had a thought of his own, and couldn't even if he tried. Not that you ever could, of course. And why? 'Cause the youth of today can't be bothered to do an ounce of honest work for themselves. No sense of duty. Things get rough, and you run for help, leaving a trail of piss in your wake. Do you reckon them scholarly folks from Shardian asked for the answer whenever they got stuck? Not bloody likely, 'cause they used their bloody brains. It ain't even had art. If I saw these soul things burning out too quick, I'd think about sealing them inside something strong, like a weapon maybe, to keep all that life from escaping. It'll cost them a bit of freedom, aye, but it'll keep them around for a damn sight longer than you'd imagine. Than you managed. What's more, if the bloody things really are alive, like you say, you'd end up with a weapon what could think for itself. That could be bloody lethal in the right hands. What do you say to that, you preening little shite? An Anima weapon! That is absolutely genius. It means not only to preserve created Anima, but to employ it. Anima weapons, eh? Aye, that'll sell. I hate your weapon. Quite an interesting proposition, Gerald. One that could be quite lucrative. Why not help poor Arashir here with his work and see what you can make of it? Help that spineless streak a piss? You're joking, ain't you? Why in the seven else would I play nursemaid to that watery-eyed brat like him? I was just spouting shite. Didn't really mean none of it. Is that right? Pity. Sounded like something we could have made a bit of coin out of. Enough to make me forget your depths, like it's not your depths that I won't be forgetting otherwise. Change your mind? Good. Listen, Ardashir. He may be a drunken bloody fool, but he is also the finest blacksmith in all the realm. If anyone can forge a weapon capable of holding your souls, it's him. And our adventuring friend here, my dear sweet Lynn, is a well-known hero around these parts. I'm sure she'd left nothing more than to try out your new weapon when it's finished. Ain't that right? Just think of it. You'd be the first in all of Eorzea to wield one of these Anima weapons. Which ain't a bad name now that I come to think of it. Anima weapon. Aye, that'll do. Trust me, I'm not the first one. It will not be the last. Now don't be so hasty, Lynn. This here's fate. What else could have brought the three of you to me at the self-same time, eh? And don't go telling me the thought of a weapon that learns to adapt to combat don't interest you, because we both know it does. Gerald, was it? Pray forgive me my rudeness earlier. If you truly are the smith she claims, I would be honored to have your assistance. And you, Lynn, I gather you're the perfect candidate to test the weapon once it's complete. Well, if this'll get me square with Rowena, then I suppose my hammer's yours. I don't think I'm getting roped into this alone. If I have to forge it, we have to wield it. Thank you, both of you. I promise you will not regret this. Nice to see you're all getting on. Now, you're going to need a place to work, and I know just the spot. As is law, the seat of elegant science, floating on high over Abalthea's spine. Not that the equipment up there will be of any use to you, mind. Only the 12 know how that stuff works. Still, it'll keep prying eyes away until the weapon's ready. I'll arrange for an airship to take you within the day. Fabled as is law. I look forward to seeing you there, then. Today's proven to be more productive than I thought. Gerald sat out of my hair, and soon I'll have new merchandise for the House Suspenders. Assuming this ridiculous plan of his works. I'm counting on you, Lynn. I hate you. Right. But her dress is amazing. Much easier to reach than the other place ever was. The fabled Azizla. I'd heard stories, but who would believe such a technological marvel could exist and floating in the sky at that? If only my master could see me now. But this is not the time for gawping. Come, let us begin our work on the Anima weapon. Camprito. Anima weapons, a new saga begins! Yay! I hate this fucking shit. Alright, so the weapon that I will be going for is the Astrologian weapon. Once again, once I've finished all of these, once I've finished a weapon, we will then move on to, I'll then swap over to Fred, and I will show you all of the Anima weapons, all of the different versions and all that jazz. But I will be getting the Astrologian weapon. I will also be getting, I think, the second upgrade of the ninja weapon, because that's one that I also would really like to have. Here we flip and go. Please note that upon a completion of the quest, yeah, at this point, instead of working via just like talking to a dude where it doesn't have a quest marker, each individual thing for each individual weapon will have an individual quest, which is a repeatable quest. That is why I don't really care about beating them as much. Right, so you can undertake just as another job, or like I'm gonna do right now, Astrologian. Job-specific quests. Some quests will be marked with this icon. This indicates the same class or job from which you accepted it, and that, wait. You must play the quest using the same job, yes. Job 10 will prevent, okay. Yeah. I take it you're ready to proceed? Excellent. Gerald has already begun working on a weapon that will serve to contain the Anima. The difficulty lies in sustaining the thing long enough for the transfer to take place. But with the appropriate stabilizing materials, I believe it should be possible, provided we act quickly. I have brought several soul stones with me, so you needn't worry about that. I shall see that one is fitted to your weapon. The only needful things I do not currently possess are crystals capable of handling the quantities of ether required for our work. To be specific, we will need astral and umbral nodes. Or modules. Nodules, sorry. What the people working in Ratatan? I knew of a merchant there who sold them. Costly though they were, I was never wanting for supplies. Perhaps Mrs. Rowena would know of someone willing to trade. Might you be willing to speak with her on my behalf? No doubt whoever she refers to you to will not part with them readily, but I trust you'll be able to come to some manner of arrangement. In the meantime, Gerald and I will finish preparations for the Anima weapon. Safe travels, friend. Honestly, most of the Anima weapon steps aren't too bad. There's a couple of them that can be... Well, in general, getting these weapons is tedious, no matter how you look at it. But some are more tedious than others. Well, if it isn't my favorite adventure, how's that Anima weapon coming along? Astral and Umbral nodules. Might be Sindani will have what you're after. She's a jeweler by trade, but her work with crystals is something to behold, let me tell you. They say she can strip them of elements, charge them with no ones, even make them out of thin air, if you can believe such a thing. Can't vouch for the rumors myself, but her profits say plenty. She can be a bit picky about clients, but you being the warrior of light and all, I'm sure your sparkling reputation will catch her eye, like the crystals she's so fond of. If you go upstairs, you'll find her out on the terrace. I should probably open up my little wiki for this, so I can tell you guys. Actually, I have another idea. I will be right back. Alright. The Warrior of Light. What a pleasant surprise. No need to be alarmed, my dear. It is my business to know all of Eorzea's treasures. Be they material or mortal. But tell me, to what do I owe the pleasure? As for an umbral nodules, my. I see you're a woman of unusual taste. Might I ask what you plan to do with such curious crystals? An essence akin to the soul. I suppose such peculiar work would call for crystals as equally peculiar. Well, you were wise to seek me out. I've dedicated my life to the study of crystals, and I cannot bear the thought of knowing there are crystals I could not procure. Mind you, these are no mere baubles or trinkets, you ask of me. Crystals of such purity are not easily come by, but to also be so rich in astral and umbral aspected energies. Still, the power with the proper materials, I believe it can be done. It will require a great deal of ether, obviously, and a specific persuasion. I am informed that when a man falls in battle, a residual energy hangs in the ether long after a spirit has returned to the lifestream. This energy can infuse crystals in the vicinity with a purity not often seen in nature, a purity essential for what you desire. I can use these crystals, luminous crystals I call them, to imbue empty ones with the astral and umbral energies necessary to create what you seek. But I will require one crystal of every element. They will not be easy to come by, of that I can assure you. You will likely have to scour every ilm of Eorzea to find them. However, there may be one other way to acquire the ether we need. It requires something of the rarer sort, something much more precious than luminous crystals. As I mentioned before, it is my business to know all of Eorzea's treasures, and if the rumors are true, there exist certain weapons of legend said to have supped on the souls of countless enemies. In fact, a certain great hero who wields one of these weapons is supposedly working with a young researcher somewhere beyond the Sea of Clouds. But this is only what I have heard. I will not hold you to ransom on the strength of a mere hearsay. Even so, the rumors of these weapons are not so easily dismissed. Embodiments of war, veritable reservoirs of soul energy. If you were in possession of such a weapon, creating these astral and umbral nodules would be as child's play. Or you could simply collect the requisite luminous crystals. I will assist you all the same. I leave the choice in your famously capable hands. Players, who possess a Zodiac weapon Zeta may exchange it for both the Astral and Umbral nodules. Excalibur Zeta must be exchanged for together with the Aegis Shield Zeta. Please note, however, that the Zodiac weapon Zeta will be lost upon completing the exchange. Alternatively, players may acquire the Astral and Umbral nodes in exchange for elementary aspected luminous crystals. These crystals may be obtained, albeit at a low probability, by participating in fates in certain areas. Luminous wind crystals may be obtained from fates in the Sea of Clouds. Luminous fire crystals may be obtained from fates in Aziz La. Luminous lightning crystals may be obtained from fates in the Churning Mists. Luminous ice crystals may be obtained from fates in the Curthan Western Highlands. And luminous earth crystals may be obtained from fates in the Dravanian Forelands. And then also luminous water, which may be obtained from fates in the Dravanian Hinterlands. Players will receive the Astral Nodule in exchange for a luminous wind, fire, and lightning crystal. And players will receive the Umbral Nodule in exchange for luminous ice, earth, and water crystals. Luminous crystals may be obtained, albeit at a low probability, by participating in fates in the aforementioned regions with any disciple of war or magic, regardless of level. This information can be reviewed anytime in your journal. So, in every area of Heavensward, so in Western Curthus, the Sea of Clouds, Aziz La, Dravanian Forelands, Dravanian Hinterlands, and the Churning Mists. 6 crystals, 1 in each area. There is a chance that it can drop. I'm not sure, like, it says it's a low probability, but I don't remember it being particularly bad. However, I could be wrong. Either way, I'm going to be doing fates now until I have what I need. I could, in theory, exchange the Longitas if I want to, but I don't want to. So I'll be right back. Alright, so after having obtained all the crystals I need, I should, in theory, be able to... Yes, okay. Exchange. Equivalent exchange. There we go. Does this have anything special on them? Nah. Right. So with those 2 crystals in hand. 7 crystals in hand! I was trying to think of the freaking 7 rings in hand thing from Sonic and the Sacred Rings, I think it's called. Anyway. Welcome back then. Are you able to acquire what you need? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, these appear to be genuine. I dare not ask what this cost you, but you have my sincerest thanks. As promised, the Soulstone is ready. All that remains now is the Ether Infusion. And if the weapon Gerald has forged is strong enough to contain the resulting anima, we shall soon be the proudest parents, or the proud parents of a living weapon. Now then, let us begin. The ether has taken hold into the Soulstone, but it will not last long. Quicker, Gerald, seal it within the weapon before the ether fades. That should do it. That thing ain't going nowhere. Now that there is a weapon worthy of legend. Aye, an Anima weapon. Animated Atlas. Wield it with pride, lass. Oh. I wouldn't say she's the finest article just yet. A weapon fresh from the forge, just one thing. But if it's life we're talking about, she's not but a suckling babe. She wants putting through her paces and toughening up. I could pound her with my hammer, of course, but that ain't no substitute for real battle. If you ask me, you need to get out there and teach that Anima what it means to be a warrior. Excuse me, Joel, but might I have a word with our friend here? It was, after all, my research that brought us this far. Come then, let us discuss the next step in developing the Anima. Right, so the first step, just like in a Realm Reborn, really, just requires you to grind fates. Yep. Just the game telling me like, hey, you can do this with other jobs. Now I need to equip it for this to work. Yes, still urgent, yes. So then, the task of unlocking the Anima's potential begins in earnest. I only wish I could offer some words of wisdom on the subject. Alas, my original studies only went so far as the Anima's creation. Now that we've given it a body and your weapon, I'm afraid we are entering unfamiliar territory. As of now, the Anima is not unlike a newborn babe. A lack of proper sensory stimulation could well cause it to stagnate or even disappear despite the measures we've taken. As such, it is imperative that we help it mature and grow accustomed to its new form. Why, and there ain't no better place to test a weapon than on the front line. And seeing as you're rarely off the front line, it shouldn't take you long to whip that thing into shape. Mayhap this is why my own trials have always ended in failure. Without a proper body, the Anima has no purpose. It could not be put to a task which would grant it the requisite stimulation. If you are all Mr. Serwenner claims you to be, I have no doubt you will find a suitable challenge for our young charge. If you're not sure where to go, just think back on some of your more bowel-losing adventures. A stroll through a few of them dark, dank holes you lot like, say 10 or so, and I bet me next round at the Druthers, your weapon will, that's a way to say that, will have got the swing of things. If it's not too much trouble, I should very much like to accompany you on your travels. As I said before, this is uncharted territory in the growth of Anima, and I would be a disgrace to my profession if I let any developments pass unrecorded. No. My thanks, then. For my part, I promise to stay out of harm's way, observing your progress from as safe a vantage point as possible. Things like to get a few tweaks when you come back, but you leave that to me. I'll work out any faults you find in her, and powder into a weapon worthy of the House's splendors. Alright, with this weapon equipped... Oof, I just noticed with this weapon equipped, huh? I have level 70 gear. I am, you can do these unsynced too, you don't have to do them synced. But I will see how this is gonna go. Because chances are definitely there that I could run into some issues. Anyway, I will be right back after I've done the first couple of dungeons. I think it's like the first 3 dungeons. In any case, like in between there will be like intermissions for story. So, I'll be right back. Alright, after beating Sacred Temple of Corn hard, I'm glad to see you are still whole, but tell me, have you noticed any changes in the Anima? I see, it grows far more slowly than I had anticipated. No matter, let us continue. Also, I have since learned that when it comes to the amount of dungeons you have to do, there's 6 ARR dungeons, and then all of the Heavensward ones. So it's basically from Snowcloak, Sestasha, Sacred Temple of Corn, Keeper of the Lake, Wandering Palace Hard, or the Wanderer's Palace Hard, sorry, and Amdaport Keep Hard. And then afterwards you still have to do the Dusk Vigil, some, all, the Airy, and the Vault. Yay. I'll be right back. Okay. Now we are here. Well fought, Lynn. You know, these lands really are quite beautiful. Dangerous though they may be, were it not for my logbook. I would swear I was on some manner of sightseeing tour. Of course, all that ghastly bloodletting does rather spoil the picture, but I digress. How is the Anima? Still no changes? That is most unfortunate, yet we must take solace in the fact that it has not yet faded from the weapon. I'm certain it will quicken. 'Tis but a question of when. Let us press on to our next destination. Meet the way, Lynn. And I will be right back again after all the Heavensward ones. Oh. That took some time. Ah, there you are. I'm glad to see you are unhurt. Pray forgive me. While waiting here, my eyes could not help but be drawn to the architecture. Breathtaking, is it not? Back to the matter at hand. How fares the Anima weapon? Surely by now it has shown some hint of life. The Anima took on a corporeal form, then it has quickened. Geralt must hear of this. I will return to Azizla and relate to him the good news. When you are rested, meet us there. Where to? Ba ba ba. Ba ba. My nose. We are going to my nose. Let's go and swap this boy back in. Equipment took a beating and a half. So, Linnea returned. Excellent. Thank the bloody gods. Maybe now you can stop gibbering like a bleeding opo and tell me what happened out there. I'm guessing things went well. If you not listened to a word I've said, Lynn believes the Anima has achieved cognitive self-awareness, manifesting itself as a corporeal form independent of the receptacle you created. I've had up to here with your bleeding cogs and corpses. Speak plainly, boy. Having experienced battle together with Lynn, the Anima has melded with your weapon. More than that, the Anima may have taken on a unique physical form. It spoke to you. Remarkable, but what did it sound like? And what did it say? Woman. Amazing, the Anima has already learned how to communicate. Oh, if only my master were here. I can hardly wait to see what else it is capable of. And I look forward to going home. Anyway, give us a weapon, will you? I'll bet there's still room for improvement somewhere or other. Here you go. Campurito. What did I tell you? What did I know? If that Anima was sleeping before, it sure as hell ain't sleeping now. Never seen a weapon do that in all my years in the trade. An exquisite glow. It's as if the Anima could burst forth at any moment. Whoa! If so young an Anima was able to take form of its own volition, imagine what it might become given time. A force that shines bright enough to make the very stars burn with envy. Quest completo. Now weapon has awakened from its slumber, ascending to new heights of power. Right, and then the next thing is going to require some explanation. Actually, it seems I can just accept this. Okay, I don't need to have it in here. Yes, don't need to have it equipped. The Anima's grown thus far as well. The Anima's growth thus far is well beyond what I expected. By absorbing ether during our travels, it has matured enough to take on a form separate from the weapon, and even speak to Lynn. To grow so quickly would have required a substantial amount of ether. However, the Soulstone is not without its limits. As it continues to absorb ether and grow, I fear it may not bear the strain of further development. You're telling me that after all the work I did, the Anima could swell up like a bomber and burst? Better have a plan to fix it, because I sure as hell ain't started over. Who exactly do you think you are talking to? This is my life's work, short a time as that may be. Of course I have a plan. If you can reinforce the soulstone and increase its capacity for etheric energies, it could remain stable. Or it should remain stable. I will speak with Rowena and see to collecting what we acquire. Or require. Ah, you had me fooled when you was begging and pleading to see those Charlian books before. Good to know your incompetence was only for show. Well, seeing as you have everything under control, if you don't mind, I think I'll run off to some tavern to get deep in your cups. Sadly, you haven't the time nor the coin for it. Not when you have a new weapon to make for our new friend Lynn here. A new weapon? I just finished fixing the one she has now. What the hell do you need another? Just as we develop and change over time, it is only fitting the Anima should as well. Or do you mean to tell me you were always such a gentleman, even as a child? Ugh, never ends, does it? Fine, I'll help me. If it'll help me settle me death, if it helps settle me death, yes, death with Rowena. You'll have your bleeding weapon. If we're attaching the soulstone to a new weapon, we're gonna need materials for conducting nature. That's where you come in. If you need, I need you to go and fetch me some enchanted rubber, fast drying carbon, coat, fast acting elegant catalyst, and divine water. I know a lass in Mordona what sells them. Christiana's her name. Like as not, you'll find her keeping a corner somewhere at the House of Splendors. It won't come cheap. You're a resourceful store. You're a resourceful sort. I'm sure you'll think of something. That's a lot of R's. Yar har fiddle-dee-dee. Being a pirate is alright with me. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. Okay. So, for this particular little thing, there's a lot of stuff that you require for this particular step. Now, I have already grabbed these things earlier because I can. I will explain in a moment what you need to be able to get these things. So, you will need, like all the amounts that I have over here, 10 of each of these items and 4 of each of these items. Now, King's Cake, Titanium Alloy Mirror, Adamantine Francesca, and the Dispelling Arrow can be crafted or can be purchased off the market board, or you can go to the Quartermaster in whatever grand company you are in, and you can trade them for 5,000 company sales pop. So 4 would be 20k. So then if you need 4 of these things, then you need 80k seals. So I already got these before. Then when it comes to the unidentifiable stuff, like the wiki over here says, these are available from multiple sources, including Sundry Splendors, for 150 elegant tombstone of poetics each. So you can get these. If you want to get all of these, you need a total of 6,000 tombstones of poetics. You can also trade your tribal tokens for them. So if you have been doing the tribal quests like I have been doing, the Heavensward ones, then you can also trade your tokens in for these bits and bobs. I think you may also be able to get them with these things over here. The ones from the Aurora Beast Rides, but I'm not 100% sure about that one, so don't take that for fact. Once again, if you want to do all these weapons, or any of these weapons really, I would highly suggest looking up the stuff on the wiki, because they usually give you pretty good tactics and stuff that is generally used to acquire a lot of these things. You can also get them by trading some loot from Alexander, or other sources. There's all kinds of ways you can get these particular boys, but the tombstone one tends to be the one that people do the most. Anyway. A customer! A customer? You are a customer, aren't you? I mean, I realize this isn't a proper stall, but I do have wares to sell, that is, if you're willing to buy them. Have you come to buy my wares? Ether conductive materials. I think I know what you're looking for, but it won't come cheap. Truth be told, I don't get buyers for these items all that often, but now that I have you, my new favorite customer, I'm sure to turn a profit, and then I can build a stall of my very own. But I don't want your gil. No, dealing with gil is too messy. It's much too messy. What with all the counting and sorting and finding a place to... bartering is much simpler, don't you think? There are a few things I'd be willing to trade for, if you're interested. The goods requested by Christiana can be obtained through various means, including dungeons, tribal quests, and crafting. Speak with other players and share information to discover how to find them. Right. Give me this. Give me this. this. And this. Right. I'm wondering though, does it have like anything? It doesn't seem to have anything like super specific. But these things seem to have a lot of information, so I do want to read those when I give them to the boys. And this will be the easy steps for me, because I already have all the items that I need. Or basically all of them. Let's see. Enchanted rubber. A variety of pliable rubber imbued with arcane magics to improve ethereal conductivity. The fast-drying carbon coat. Born of elegant ingenuity, this etherochemical concoction is said to rapidly increase a gem's hardness. Divine water. Water believed to be blessed by the 12. Used to exorcise powerful demons from worldly items. And a fast-acting, elegant catalyst, dubbed a god in the machina by those who first discovered it. Modern scholars have yet to discover not only what the catalyst agent contains, but exactly how it functions, understanding only that the substance is required to quickly strengthen the properties of certain materials. Got everything we need? Good. Hand it all over. Weapon 2. Others just ready to work on the soul stone, and they won't shut up about it. At least now it'll all be over. Wow. Ah, my phone. I need to put it away. Good on you, lass. Now then, let's make us a weapon, eh? I can't say I've ever forged something quite so extraordinary. A weapon fit for your growing anima. Nay, something more than that. A beauty worth her ballads. Denip. The gods themselves be jealous of an astral labe so fine. So fine. Give me that astral grope. Grope? Astral grope. Ah yes, of course. Thank you. To Rowena takes a gander at this. I keep this up and she'll be given maid notes, I promise. To be honest, I once questioned what use I had for a drunkard with a hammer, but you have proven yourself to be quite the competent blacksmith, when you're sober. Then I'm at a loss as to how to express my thanks. You looked a danger in the eye, unflinching, risking life and limb to help me. I hope someday I can repay your kindness. Sure, she carried her around a bit, but I made the damn thing, and I deserve a little more than left-handed compliments. What, the Anima manifested again? When? But I didn't see anything. Are you certain? Ooh. Why is it that only you are able to see the Anima when it chooses to present itself? Maybe it's got no interest in the likes of you. I suppose the Anima is not yet strong enough. Perhaps one day, after it has fully matured, we too will be able to behold its wonders. This calls to mind Stephnerian literature in the Zodiac Braves, legendary heroes who wielded arms of unparalleled strength. But soon they will tell tales of a new legend, of you and your Anima weapon. And don't be getting ahead of yourself, lad. There's no denying it's a beauty, but there's still room for improvement. You just said yourself the anime ain't fully mature yet. I do not need you to remind me of such things. I have kept a rather comprehensive account of everything we have done thus far. With all the data I have collected, it is only a matter of time before the next step in fostering the anima is clear. Which reminds me, Lynn, if you would care to read over my notes on our work, you are more than welcome to pore over them at your leisure. They are on the table just over there. Oh, that's the way, lad. Every step that brings us closer to finishing the bleeder weapon brings me a step closer to a life free from death and a Gilswin and Venture winner. Your weapon has been forced to do, and the Anima strikes bottoms. Yes. Anima Crossing. I hate this game. Yes, there is an achievement for each and every weapon, but it does not give you a title, only achievements. You have made remarkable progress, Lynn, but our work is far from over. If you are to create a truly free-thinking weapon, we must empower the anima to do more than utter a few unintelligible words to its wielder. Moreover, it must be encouraged to recognize you not only as the rightful owner of the weapon, but also as a companion to whom it can turn for guidance. A companion who senses its presence where no other can. Quite why that should be is a question which confounded me for some time. It was only after spending countless days poring over my notes that the answer came to me. In my efforts to predict the anima's rate of growth, I realized that I had overlooked an important variable, you, my friend, which is why I took the liberty of investigating you and your dealings in Eorzea. You are possessed of a rare power known to some as the Echo, are you not? I have read that it conveys a preternatural sensitivity to the psyches of others. And what is the anima but a nascent psyche? You're saying you've got to have special powers just to see the bloody thing? Those are powers what only a handful of folk got? Oh, that's just great, that is. Even if Lynn and her Echo sporting mates buy 10 weapons each, they ain't like to spend the sums Zerwina's got in mind, meaning me debts are set to go unpaid. Unless, of course, you've thought of a solution. As a matter of fact, I have. Unlike the quasi-souls of golems and other constructs, the anima is unique in that it was created using the pure ethereal energies of astral and umbral nodules. As such, it bears no residual imprint of another psyche, and therefore possesses the potential for cognizance and growth. Having no reason or desire to grow, golems can typically subsist almost indefinitely on the energy of their initial ethereal infusion. The anima, however, is quite different. Being in a state of constant development, it requires a constant supply of ether, and while it is capable of sustaining itself by drawing upon the naturally occurring ether of its immediate surroundings, I have theorized that the cost of its marked growth to this point is, in fact, its close proximity with you, Lynn. Your weapon served as a conduit between you and the anima, fueling its energy at a steady, albeit slow pace. If you could somehow improve the weapon's conductivity, I am certain it would promote faster growth, enhancing the anima's ability to communicate. But that is not all. Should we improve the conductivity sufficiently, the resultant strengthening of the connection between anima and wielder could in theory facilitate communication even in the absence of the echo, felling two birds with but a single stone. Which is where you come in, Geralt, whatever. Do you think you can improve the ethereal conductivity of our anima's lodgings? Can't bloody well say no now, can I? I reckon I should be able to get the ether flowing a bit freer between Lynn and the anima, but it'll come at a cost. By improving the weapon's conductivity, it'll become extra sensitive to anyone touching it, and that includes me when I'm pounding on it with my hammer. My energies pouring into the anima could muddle up whatever relation Sin's already got with it. I mean, if the bloody thing was to take after me instead of old Lynn here. Yes, I will not deny that taking after a man of your character could certainly prove problematic, but how would you go about preventing such contamination? Contamination? Cheeky little shite! Any anima would be lucky to take after me, just not this one on account of how it's Lynn. Yeah. Don't go worrying a pretty little head anyway, cause unlike you, I think my plan's through. It's a matter of making me tools impassable to ether, in case you're wondering. Luckily, I've done something similar before while I was working with another annoying scholarly type. We developed a little trick called soul glazing. It's used to insulate weapons, but my tools should be no different. Of course, I didn't actually make the soul glaze myself, but I've got a fair idea what might stand in for it. According to a glowing ball I was talking to, the Alligans used something called ether oil in their metalworking, and it did pretty much the same job. It's sure to be rare, expensive, or a bit of both, but you've got experience with this sort of thing, don't you, lad? So run along and find us 5 pots of ether oil for me hammer and anvil, will you? We're none of us getting any younger. I am, of course, grateful to you for identifying a solution. It is but a pity you did not think to ask this glowing ball of yours where to actually acquire it. Or where to acquire it. The actually was not necessary. Mayhap next time you could think your plan through a little more, yes? I apologize for this gross imposition, but I fear we must have that ether oil if we are to proceed. In the meantime, Gerald and I will continue researching how best to foster the Anima's development. Okay, I have these in my truck or saddlebag. Let's see, you can buy these for 350 elegant tombstone of poetics each, which is 1,750 tomestones. Yep. We shall set to work as soon as you return with the ether oil. It is 5 pots we require. Don't worry, I don't forget. Oh, and do remember to bring the weapon itself. We shall struggle to proceed without that. Well done, friend. While you were abroad acquiring these, we saw to the rather less onerous matter of our own preparations. In the process, we happened upon an archive with a particularly riveting selection of text on etherochemical research that may well prove useful in the future. Alas, I was only able to steal a few cursory glances at their contents, as Gerald was intent upon sneaking off to drown himself in ardent spirits. Would that he were as keen to immerse himself in his work. Pious little prick. A young one like you wouldn't understand. It's me muse, me inspiration. All my best ideas come after downing something strong. Is that right? Then what a pity you abstained for as long as you did. Had you only been a little more inebriated, that's a fucking word, mayhap you wouldn't have devised a plan which didn't involve putting Lynn to such trouble. Shut your gob and coat me, anvil, with that ether oil before I crack one of them pots over your head. There, applying the oil was much easier than I expected. How did you fare with your hammer? She's oiled up and ready for action. It's no telling how long the coating will last, though. Time to get pounding. Yes. Please to be careful, Gerald. Lynn went to great lengths to procure that oil. I would not have her go to all that trouble again through any error on your part. I think you're forgetting who you're talking to, lad. My only error is making weapons that are too good for their owners. Present company accepted the course. Besides, I downed a bottle of the good stuff not long ago. Never felt better. Well, I am glad to hear. Wait, did you say a bottle? A whole bottle? A 7 health, man. I cannot in good conscience allow you to work in your condition. Ah, don't be so daft. It weren't bad stuff, at least I don't think it was. I found it when you were reading. All about them ether comical was names. Then wrote, there's only one way to find out how good it really was. It's hammering time. How is that possible? Such swift, precise movements. And his eyes, never have I seen him so sharp. Is he quite certain it was alcohol he drank and not some matter of invigorating tonic? This is not a drunkard I imagined when Rowena introduced us. Mayhap we should keep another bottle on hand, in case he should be required to craft something else, I mean. There, taste of my true talent. Next time, maybe you'll believe old Gerald when he tells you about the redeeming power of a stiff drink. Now and then, hold her up and see how she feels. Like an extension of your arm, I'll bet. Up with the ether flowing so free. A genuine bona fide bleeding masterpiece fashioned from the realm's greatest adventurer by our greatest living blacksmith, hyperconductive Deneb. Magnificent, simply magnificent. You can almost feel her ethereal energies coursing through it. What effect do you suppose this will have on the Anima? So warm. At last I feel myself. You would share your ether, the very essence of your being, to support me? Then I in turn shall do all I can to support you, going wheresoever you go, even unto the farthest reaches of the realm. If that is, you will take me as your companion. Then I take it the Anima has spoken with you once again. That was a comparatively lengthy exchange, was it not? Far longer certainly than the scant whispers you described before. This is progress, my friend. Tangible progress. Should our young charge continue to develop at this rate, it may not be long before Jelt and I can converse with it. At last, our goal of a free-thinking weapon is within reach. Impressed, are you? Well, the Anima weapon's just a start. Feast your eyes on this little beauty. While I was off looking for ether oil, I went for a little wander and this thing found me. I found it. Anyway, seeing as there ain't much these elegant contraptions can do, I gave it a recipe for making spirits. And let me tell you, that thing's got a real knack for following instructions. With a bit of work, I reckon we could probably teach it how to make weapons look like the Anima weapons about a bleeding dozen. There won't be real Anima weapons, of course, on account of there being no spirits inside, but you can be sure they'll still sell. And seeing as how you helped me get here, I'll even let you have one half price. Can't say fairer than that, eh? Have you no decency? We did not come here to fashion trinkets. We came here to imbue weapons with life. Life that should be respected. Respect life? Don't come into it. I came here to pay off my debts, remember? And if that means making a few trinkets, I'll bloody well make them, like it or not. Where there's muck, there's money, and I mean to take it. Drinking may have served to steady your arm, but I see your moral compass remains as wayward as ever. Plainly, there are limits to even alcohol's miraculous powers. But let us set aside Gerald's scheming for the present. Today marks an important milestone in our collective journey, and in your journey especially, Lynn. The bond you share with the Anima is stronger than ever. Teach it well, and one day, soon, the world will look upon the brilliance of our Anima weapon and wonder. Your Anima weapon is now hyper-conductive, fortifying your bond with the spirit within. And that, my friends, is gonna be it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of this. I was playing Final Fantasy XIV, and next episode we're gonna go and deal with the next parts. We're probably gonna be able to finish the Anima weapon, and depending on how much time I have left, we may also do the Nidhogg Extreme. Anyway, goodbye.